It's Billy. Right now. Yo, what if I got attacked by the clones? What if the builder think they found a better stone? What if the beat don't match with the metronome? What if that means you walk your path alone? Call me a vagabond. If all these streets leading to Rome, then wherever I lay is my home. It's Brooklyn, boy strong. I manifest, I'm in the zone. Y'all silly better back up off my throne. Listen, boy nice, better give him his propers. How we come out sane from all our mosh pits. How we found the key to the game without a locksmith. How we seem to manage these lanes is so obnoxious. He let it flow from the brain, trusting the process. A vet journeyman on multiple rosters. If I want it, I go out and get it and cop it. A monster with limitless options. Man, like goddamn, y'all gon' soon figure out who I am. We stay cooking, y'all used to that spam. Western beef, I might square up at the square dance. Look, I change plans, not even a southpaw, I'm an outlaw with a rare stance. Your crew never had a fair chance.
Why's that?
I kill a whole bear with my bare hands. Oh, they studied the dark? Well, I was raised in it. Brain shifted, the kid displayed insane physics. Best story never told, and it ain't finished. How we handled a rock, spun and kept the same pivot. I frame different, hot like a flame kitchen. A whole 2 levels out of your range gifted. Catch me on the highway, lane switching. Or right at the top of your bay wish list. It's Billy.
Hey! What up, what up, what up? Yes, it's how Billy sees it. It is May 8th, 2023. It's another Monday. We are back. Yo, I got this new lighting thing here. I'm probably better lit than you've ever seen me right now. Studio lights here. We're getting better every single day here in the studio at How Billy Sees It / Sheba Sunday / Black Bunny Hole / SMC Live, which is coming back soon. Look out for that. This is a shirt I'm wearing, the 100-year anniversary of my high school, Brooklyn Tech. I just wanted to shout that out real quick. And but we are very lucky because I have a great guest today that I'm very amped to have on. She's an old friend, not a high school friend, but a college friend. She's dope, she's smart, she's wonderful and beautiful, and I'm gonna introduce you to her right now. Her name is Nussy. Nussy Alam.
Hey.
Hey, Nussy, what's the deal? Thanks for being here. How's your day? How you doing?
I'm good. Mondays are always a thing, but we're here.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Yeah, yo. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff we can get into and a lot of things to talk about. But just to start off with, like, I just want to let this conversation go. Like, I think it'd be fun to just kind of go with it. But maybe if we start from the jump with, like, what you do with I Am Perspective. And I think that can be an interesting launch pad for, like, wherever we want to go next. So what is I Am Perspective, and how did it begin?
I Am Perspective was started with really conversations between 2 friends. So my co-founder, Jamal. We just had a lot of conversations. We've been friends since high school. And I think we were having conversations that we never really had before. So this is around 2016, around Black Lives Matters movement, right? And we happened to be a Black man, and I'm a Bengali Muslim, and we grew up in Queens, New York. And we obviously both deal with certain isms, discrimination, racism, whatever that looks like.
Whatever that looks
all
like.
Of them.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. And so, really talking more with each other around certain experiences that we've had. And me as a friend wanting people to know, like, why should people who are not Black be concerned about Black Lives Matters and what that means, right? And so, all these conversations are like, why don't we just talk to each other? And have conversations with other people. And so, we started out in once a month community service project turned into, like, the first year we had one once a month. By the second year we had, I don't know, like 45 conversations. We were in different
Yes.
states.
That's growth, son.
Right.
1 year, B.
So we had the radio show.
No problem.
We had a radio show. Then, you know, the pandemic happened and that grew into something else. We were still doing conversations. Turned into more of a little business of like, how can we make this work on a more full-time level of doing diversity training. And like real diversity training, right? Because there's a lot of basic stuff out there.
Yeah.
And not really doing the work, right? And so it's been a lot of different things, I think.
Tell me about that, because I think at the root of what I think you're pointing to when you're like a lot of different things, like when we define diversity, I find that one of the issues is we define diversity, and it's what a paradox, right? Diversity wants to talk about brothers, but we define it very narrowly. And what do you think about that?
I just had a conversation with somebody. They're gonna have a diversity chart for their job, and they have maybe 1,000 employees worldwide. And this conference that I put together is specifically for Black minorities, and the LGBT community together, right? Like they're just gonna put those two groups together.
Okay.
And it's like, what is diversity? What is a minority? What is diversity? I don't know.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's having those different cultures together in one space, right? But
Yeah.
what's the percentage of it? How are they showing up? What ranking are they in? So there's a million questions around what diversity really is, and so.
Right. Yeah, that's how I think about it. I think it's more complex. Like we try to map it, and then we come up with numbers, and we try to like do things like this. But it's really weird. And your thing I like about you is that when you talk about perspective, the message that you bring is about the internal. It's about like you blessed me by letting me be one of the men to speak at your men's conference, and it was so dope to see the different ways that men show up. So if I call myself whatever label I call myself, man, let's say, it's not enough, right? Because each of those men in that room were so very different.
Yeah.
And we need that kind of depth of it, and I just thank you for making that platform that allowed us to link up, because I've kept in touch with a number of people there. So
That's good. I'm glad men were able to bond with the men in that space. I think even the basis of creating something like that, we started having conversations, the men's perspective early on. And men are different. Like women are different. Like everybody's different. It's like that's one of the principles of my perspective is that you don't really represent your whole race or religion or sexuality or whatever else you identify with. And you're really speaking for yourself, right? Like this is your own perspective. Maybe those things impact your perspective,
right.
But it doesn't have to be like the end all, right? Because I think we start to lose the individuality. I think that's part of it as well. When we start putting groups together and putting all of these labels. Like, I don't think I've ever walked around in my life talking about being a Bengali Muslim woman as much as I have these last few years, right? Like, it's not that I've never hidden it. It just hasn't been like the way that I go around describing myself. And you start off with your name. Now you start off with some other stuff.
Exactly. And I find it interesting how when you get into the individuality, the deep individuality of it, I found a process for myself growing up with these different words and ways of talking about myself. Let's say, I don't know, I never, what am I trying to say here? I find that like individuality comes from a deep probing and then sort of a release of some of these words. You know what I mean? I think that the words are helpful to help us describe ourselves, describe our conditions, share our experiences, but they can be at times a thing that like you become attached to them. You become attached to a story of how you should be. What's your experience with that?
Yeah, I agree with that actually, because right when you start talking about your identity, and you're talking about things from a certain perspective that is centered around that. Um, I mean, it could be anything else that you choose, right? It doesn't have to be that.
Right, exactly.
And I think we used to do that at some point.
What'd you say?
I think we used to do that at some point. It's like something flying around. We used to do that at some point, and
Do
then we
what?
stopped doing that. So,
Do
like,
what?
maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a creator, maybe you're, I don't know,
Yeah.
something else. Right? Like,
Isn't it funny?
You know today, huh?
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like it depends on where you are, right? Like if you're in a job interview, you're trying to mirror who you're speaking to, kind of, you know. If we're really paying attention to how it works, so this mirroring thing depends on what group friends you're in. You know what are the first words you're gonna use to think about yourself and describe yourself. Yeah, that's really dope.
What do you think?
What do I think about?
Yeah, oh my god, that's really important from your perspective.
You were really low. Can I tell you? Can you?
Yeah, I was you're asking me, but I want to know your perspective.
Oh, on identity.
Yeah.
Kind of. I think identity is really powerful, and I think it just operates, and it's something we build. I have the luck of like being an uncle and seeing these little kids and seeing an identity develop. You know what I mean? And like their preferences are developing every day, every week. I see them once a week, and every week they've got new language. And the parents, my sisters and brothers are like, where did you learn that word? I don't know, you know. But so it develops, and then we get older, and we have this identity that feels locked in. But it's just a mix of a lot of stuff and hurts and pains and experiences and expectations from your parents and shit. And yeah, I think it's a brilliant thing to like go through like to revisit like the baby state, you know? Yeah. What do you think of that baby state? Is that good language? Does that feel right?
Yeah, I mean, I have nephews and niece, I see them every day, and I hear them trying to identify themselves in various ways, and then what that means also, right? Like my nephew, for instance, there was a moment that he really liked pink, and then I don't know who taught this to him because we didn't teach this to him, but one day all of a sudden he's like, boys like blue, right? And so like he's in preschool, and so we're like, oh, okay. So now he doesn't do pink anymore, right, or blue, right? And so it definitely it starts at the stage.
Yeah.
Right. So
I like the fact that we're even able to talk about this on this level. You know, I think we're getting at something that's the crux of whatever the hell this is, right? Like, Nussy, what is life? What is this about? This whole thing.
I mean, this is a privilege, right? Because 100 years ago, how would this conversation have even gone? Like, what would the conversation?
For real. Right. And it's an insane privilege. I mean, it's just like culture. It's like, or any, like these other things, technologies that we take for granted. You don't even notice it. You're sitting here, you're even complaining about it. You know, my Wi-Fi took a little, you know, it blows your mind. Yeah. So. But,
like the AOL days.
What was that?
Not like the AOL dial-up days, right?
Remember that, yeah? These little kids have no clue, yeah.
Right. I mean, even us, we grew up with it and we're still here all impatient.
Super impatient.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember the AOL. First time I got on AOL Messenger and was messaging around, and man, that joint was crazy. Just being online, little stupid texts and whatever.
The chat rooms.
Chat rooms, yeah. Remember MySpace?
Yes.
You had a MySpace page?
Yes.
Oh man, how is it in New York, yo? You're in Queens, am I right?
I am.
Okay.
You know, the weather is interesting. Some days it's nice, some days it's been a little colder.
Yeah,
Everything's different now. It's not the same.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, tell me. I go back and visit, and I don't know where anything is. You know, I can't even. People like, hey, what's the best whatever? I'm like, yo, I'm so removed from that. Like, best restaurant.
Well, everything is definitely changing. Like, I'm right by Jamaica Avenue, and every single time I drive down there, I don't go down there that frequently, but I'm like, what is this? Like, it's all like Starbucks. Like, there's several Starbucks in Jamaica Avenue.
Yeah,
um,
several Starbucks, man.
several.
Ridiculous.
They have a lot of different things out there that you would never have believed would have existed on Jamaica Avenue. And every street really, like, it's new businesses taking over. It's nothing like one day we're gonna have those pictures. I don't know if you follow, if you're not from Queens. Meanwhile, back in Queens, it's an Instagram account, and they have like pictures of like Queen streets from like the 50s or whatever, and how like drastically different it looks.
Dad, what y'all need to do is y'all need to change them street signs. Okay, you need one thing. If it's gonna be 17 lane, you can't have 17 square, 17 road, 17 park, 17
It's
way.
like confusing with food deliveries. I will tell you that.
Hell yeah. I would quit if I did delivery. I remember visiting friends in Queens. It was an absolute maze, yo. It's pretty funny. He's like, no, you at Park, bro. I'm at 7, I'm at the other joint. Anyway. How's like, are you dating? Are you seeing someone?
I don't really want to talk about.
Oh, you don't want to talk about that? All right, okay, good. I was wondering about like the social media dating scene out there, because
I have no idea.
no clue. Okay. And you're also a delegate right now?
Yeah.
Are you serving?
It's a very tempting position. I've already served actually, so I've done my duty.
Great.
Which is really essentially serving nomination board, so like choosing who the next judges are gonna be for New York, or particularly for Chicago.
Cool.
So
How long did you serve for there?
it was such a quick thing.
Oh, it was okay.
It was really like one day's worth of work.
Oh, okay. But then it kind of rotates out. Like, how does that?
Well, in 2 years, next year at this point, there'll be another election where there'll be more judges up for election, right? So, as there's a need, as there's a vacancy,
Okay.
there's whoever the judicial delegates are assigned. So I probably will run for it again next year.
Okay.
It's a whole way of being active without necessarily being all in there.
Gotcha. Well, like in the council and the assembly kind of thing, you mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Which is a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It was already so dramatic without it. I'm like, I don't know about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the politics game
about that a little bit.
Politics game is rough, yo.
It is. It's like, there's such a irony. I don't know what the right word is. Like, people who want to do the good work, right? Who want to help, who should be in those positions.
Right.
You were considering maybe something around there too, but then to actually be in the game is a whole different thing altogether, right?
Whole different thing.
And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
And be effective to myself and all of that. So
seriously. Yeah, I had my time as an aide, and I was like, nope. Because I definitely thought, as a younger person, I thought it'd be a good thing to do. Yeah, but no. I mean, since we're in New York, then can we get a little current eventsy with the young man who was choked out on the train?
Okay.
What the lesson, the thing I have, like, obviously it's a tragedy, right? And as I've been doing the stuff I'm doing with the media, critiquing the media and trying to talk about discourse and stuff, I think that the value of news is to be able to learn about ourselves, to learn like this is the world we created, this is the society we created. It's not just to like you know what I mean, like just gossip and say. So I don't know, as I look at like social media and I look at CNN and I look at people talk about this, I'm constantly like, I'm angsty hoping for that message to be get across, that we built a society that makes people not just racist, but violent and scared and fearful, and mentally, you know what I'm saying, like unhealed. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously there's various perspectives that surround this matter, and I think one, yes, we have all contributed to something like this happening in the first place, and then even also like how we react to it. At this point, there's so much stuff in the news every day. Like this is just one more thing, right?
Yeah.
There has been this growing violence problem, right? And so there's people who are out here, they're fearful, they want some sort of protection, revenge. I don't know, like they probably felt protected by this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the humanity of it all, of like, oh, this dude just got killed, and we're just acting like it's okay. And what did he really do, right? Because, I mean, there's, as New Yorkers, you're used to the typical crazy, and then there's like crazy, like something's about to happen, right? And how do you distinguish from that? I mean, I wasn't there, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's where we are. In general, there's people who still believe in the value of humanity of a single person, and there's others who are like kind of like a survival of the fittest of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's me against them.
Yeah.
Like this whole vaccination thing that we forget happened. People are like, all right, well, if you're not vaccinated, it's on you, right? Get ready to get rid of whole populations of people. So
Right. This stuff is like, these are like moral questions that might have been taught in a school when we were younger. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff on page like, what if there's a vaccine, and what if and what, like if two people are being so in the subway thing. No one was there for it. No one was there for it, so I don't know the details. But just on the numbers of it, like I'm someone who advocates for acting in the face of an attack or something. Like I remember some story, that woman who was getting raped in Chicago or something, and people just took out their phones and recorded. So, but the question, it seemed like 15 minutes to me was the number that I heard. That sticks out to me. Seems like who needs to be choked, that long.
How long do you need to hold on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just as we talk about it, I just want us to talk with, the humanity of it is super important, and it gets lost, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, until the next time, right? Like until the next incident.
Until the next, exactly.
It's not. That's another part of it is like, are we just allowed to start choking people out? Like what's accountability after you do something like that?
The other part of it too, if from my insight on the media end, like again, part of our discourse now includes so many disingenuous people. Like I think there are some people who could, I might disagree with them, but they might come to the conclusion that it was a mistake and he was trying to save lives or protect people, and that this is a service or whatever. And I might disagree with them, but then there are people who just want to get clicks and just want to say the offensive thing and want to spark all the divisions that are latent in us. All the biases, the perspectives, call them the isms that might just be there quietly, and it's on us to work on them. And then we have people I think who are intentionally playing on them, and that makes me pissed off. I hate those people.
There's no accountability anymore. Like, so one of the premises I personally started on was getting people off the internet. people face to face. Obviously, that shifted pandemic, right?
Yeah.
But even so, you're kind of having a back and forth. There's a conversation, and we've kind of shifted to this like YouTube podcast, or maybe you have one other guest on there too. I don't know, right? But for the most part, you just have people speaking, and there's nobody rebuking them. There's nobody asking them further questions. They
Right.
just get to speak, and then they don't have to listen to anything else that would like you don't have to do any homework. Like I have to ask myself or really question what I've been said, right? Like
Nothing.
so,
But that's where I think love is, you know what I mean? That's why I think like that's why I'm trying to like talk about love as like not just I love Nussy or whatever. It's like love for what is truth. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I even though there's no accountability, there's no one watching me or homework, like, do I care about what reality is, or am I just a doofus who likes to like be validated and likes to spew toxic shit because I'm a hurting person inside, you know? And so back to that whole mirror thing, like we gotta get into like, who am I? Who are we? You know, as an individual, why do I see things the way I see them? You know, I think that's why I think what you're doing is so important.
I think what you just said is interesting, right? Because I find myself, or like sometimes not saying certain things because I had to. I'm very aware of how the internet is, right, and how they take your words and how they turn it into something completely different, right? And so, I think the most authentic people are kind of not, unfortunately, not out here saying things, right? Because at the end of the day, they're not looking at the people. They're not looking at the point, right? Like we're not looking at the point. But there's probably more value to some of the stuff that we gotta say. I don't know. I don't have an answer to your question.
Oh, I don't even know if it was a question. Just like a observation, like just sharing what I'm seeing and how I feel like we're fighting. Sometimes we feel like we're fighting. Oh, if only we can get genuine people to see each other. That's like sort of your goal, and I have the same. But like, we also have these not genuine people, who, and that's another element that is really bothersome to me. So,
well, what do we do about that?
Right. Well, so many things that I think for me, one of the things that's most interesting to attack this is to get people interested in truth. Because I don't think people are even interested. Like, we haven't defined it. We're not necessarily looking for it. And to point that out and to like kind of be aware of ourselves doing that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, people want to live in oblivion.
Yeah.
People are very, very happy with that. I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm like, I wish I could too. Like, I wish I could kind of be like that. There's a freedom and peace in that unfortunately does not maybe exist for people who are out here really seeing things and thinking about it, right? And so, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me ask you, can I ask you a question about your faith?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about or anything about your faith? Or, I know you as a Bengali girl up till now as an adult, how it's evolved. If you can tell me or us.
Yeah. So, I've been raised in a Muslim household, right? But I've always been I don't really believe in organized religion, right? So I'm not like an atheist. I will not believe that something doesn't exist out there. What it is, I have no idea. But I just believe in people having their own, like, just having morals and being good people. I don't really care what faith that looks like. I think it kind of sucks that any religion ban anyone from heaven just because they didn't follow it the way that they told us to.
Right.
But at the same time, I believe everyone has the rights to do whatever it is they want to believe.
Right.
Yeah. I kind of, my faith is around really it's people based. I'm not into this higher power knowledge. Like that doesn't really do anything for me. But like I like to see humans being humans and like being good people. And like that's what that's makes me want to continue being a good human as well. Not that I think I'm doing anything crazy otherwise. But that
Right.
makes people keep going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I'm somewhere in there. I'm in the same place.
Yeah.
People based. I'm looking at another. We call ourselves humans. I think in the same way we got so super familiar with the internet and the phones and these technologies we talked about, the way that becomes so internalized, we take it for granted. I think the same is true for me and you. So if I'm sitting in a room with you, I call you a human. I look at you. I might treat you like a girl or I treat you like a whatever, but those are words, and you're something much more brilliant than those words can imply. And if I'm too attached to the words, I'm gonna miss you. I'm not gonna see you. So that's kind of, I'm in the same place for those reasons.
Yeah.
What do you think about like intuition? Are you an intuitive person? Would you say that?
For sure. But then I don't think that's a. I think it's a normal thing. Like I don't think a lot of people actually have it. They might have certain intuitions. Like maybe someone's good with. They have like financial intuition.
Right.
How to answer questions. Right, but like intuition, I think, is a form of emotional intelligence, and unfortunately, emotional intelligence has not been equated as like a high-ranking skill trait, right? Only now, even in school systems, like we're doing social emotional learning as being something that's important. But there's no like grading on it. It's kind of like this back level thing, like, oh yeah, you should have more empathy. You should
Right.
Not bully your classmates and all that. And
They don't reward it in the marketplace.
Yeah, there's no rewarding it. There's no even in this work that we do, there's no real reward of like doing good work, right? But it's like, okay, great. Wonderful.
Pizza party.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think.
Okay. Yo, my wife just left a message or a comment. I don't know if you can see it, Nuss, but she says, Nussy, what was Billy like she says high school, but she means college. What was Billy like in college? How has he evolved?
I mean, I don't know if we spoke that much in college, right? Like,
not a ton.
Not a ton. I think actually, we had reconnected. You had posted something around empathy. You were posting something around empathy. And I'm like, who's this person talking about empathy? Right? And so that's something that was important to me. So it's actually kind of nice we're talking about humans, recognizing humans, I think. Even though I didn't do that well in college. What scene were we in? Like, time for life? I don't know.
Yeah. Where'd you live? What part of campus did you live?
I was in Almond.
You were in, say it again?
Mendelssohn Quad.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah. That's the other side of campus. So I was in Roth Quad. Yeah.
That was like the whole other side.
That was the whole other side. It was like a serious walk too.
It was. Like there are people out there who think like us, and so it's always nice when we realize that and we find other like-minded individuals, right? And so
yeah,
that was something.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Tell me, what else is there, yo? I have written down, I wanted to talk to you about love, and I wanted to talk to you about manifesting. If you think that's a thing, what that is.
Love and manifesting. Manifesting.
I guess those are, in my view, could be seen as separate things,
Yeah, I mean, so love, I think, is, it means many things. Like, you can love someone, right? You can love things. You can love just to love. Like, I think it's a loving act to do things like this, to have conversations about how we can have or do better for humanity. I think that's an act of love. I think love is kind of like a good versus evil sort of thing. Like you could, if you're a loving person, then you kind of contagious to people, right? With that. Manifestation. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know where I currently stand with that. I was actually having an internal conversation about that. There was a time when I was a little bit more like, yeah, sure, we can manifest things. I don't know, maybe, but I'm not in that space right now. So I think you have to be in a certain space where you can manifest things, but I don't know if that's like an easily available, accessible thing that you just call it whenever you want on demand. It's maybe energetic you can shift based on where you are in your life or what other energies in the picture. But there is certainly something to visioning or having a vision or having a clear vision and knowing what you want. And that can help in manifesting whatever it is.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, yo. I agree. Yeah. I think when I think manifesting, I think everything you said there. Plus, I think I'm still working on my ideas on this, but in my experience, all these words, right? Shifting energetically, things like this, like these things can resonate for me, and but they also sound like words sometimes. Like if someone said this like 15 years ago.
A lot of people are like, well, that's like cool stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Someone said this 15 years ago to me, shifting energetically. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I think what I've seen, if I could describe it, is like something like really being it. Like really when you envision a thing to step into it with confidence. So I've tested myself even with something like posting on social media. Like I'm someone who has but really had major anxiety about posting on social media my political views and certain things, and then stepping into like, no, I believe these things and they're okay, and they're accurate as I see it, and they're helpful and they're productive and there's nothing wrong with it, and just changed it in my head. But that was a process, and it's not super easy.
Yeah, like declaring your goals, like you want to do something, and so maybe that's what manifesting is. It's like declaring a goal and then being focused towards it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like you're like, I don't know if you're necessarily like a candle or anything. Right?
No. All those things. No, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting how people approach this life thing differently. You know what I mean? Like, she and I did a show on SMC called Ghosts, and we talked about religion and stuff, and just the idea that there's stuff out there that we don't know, and
Ghosts scare me. It's like night time.
Oh, ghosts scare.
We'll talk about it.
But just like this stuff.
Sleep tonight, so.
You can't talk about it because you can't sleep if we talk about it? That is so funny.
This crazy mind of mine, I'll start making up all sorts of stories and stuff. I think I'm okay in this house though, but.
Yeah.
Because that's go ahead, what were you saying?
No, you just watch the episode during the daytime. It's a fun episode, but just how people gotta figure out the world, like if we lived in a time when we were dependent on some corn crop or whatever and it wasn't raining, we would have to figure that out. We would have to come up with a scheme to try to interact with the universe or God or whatever to make it rain, and that is mind-blowing to me, and that's what's happening, in a way.
Yeah. I think a part of things that people need something to believe in, right? There's something
right
you want to believe in.
Right.
as you were just saying that, I thought of a scene from the Indian movie actually where they have like a whole song. Like I don't know if you've ever seen it in movies, but they can be like
Oh yeah.
10-minute song. There's like a whole
They'd be
story
like,
arc and everything.
and yeah.
Yeah, so this one was about the rain, right? And they needed rain for the crops, and so they were figuring like during the course of the song, they thought the rain was gonna come, and then it didn't. They like hyped them up.
Right.
But yeah, they had to believe in something. Like maybe if they sang to these gods, or this rain would come and fix their problems. Which I think that's another part of my whole religion thing. Well, they don't necessarily always come, and then what?
Wait, say it again. The rain doesn't always come.
Or the gods don't do it.
They
right?
don't do
They're
the
not
thing,
doing
right?
it.
Exactly. That's because that to me points to the fact that these efforts to understand God or to tame Him, it. Sorry for using even that pronoun. See how I think it's important to like, talk about things, but like the attempt to understand it and tame it are wrong. Your map isn't accurate. It can't be. It seems. This thing is beyond that.
Right. We don't really know.
Yeah. I just saw this. Was this in New York too? This pastor, they got into a fight at the church because everybody's broke, and the pastor asked everybody to tithe. 1,000 is the base for tithing, and a fight broke out. People were like, "Yo," the pastor had 2 Benzes and massive cars and mansions, and it just makes me, I come from a place where I want to respect people's faith and where they come from, and at the same time I go, man, there are these examples of massive grifting.
There's no people don't question, right? So as growing up in an Islamic household, it was a very basic thing, right? Because growing up, my family was not very religious, right? And so it was more like, oh, you should go to like Arabic school and like learn, right? And so the traditional learning is in Arabic. You learn Arabic, you learn the Quran. And I'm like, I'm not Arabic. So I'm literate in Arabic. I can read the Quran and I can read Arabic. I have no idea what that was saying. Right? Like I can read it, but what does it mean? And this is a text that's read by 1 billion people in the world. But like, how many of them understand Arabic? They're learning to read it, but not understand it. And so like, I remember I had this whole thing. My mom, I'm like, I'll read it. I'm gonna read this in English, because I'm like, I need to know what I'm reading. Like,
right.
And so just even asking questions, like, you can go to church or the mosque or wherever your faith is, but still have some questions around it. And I think that's not really allowed. And
right.
And so that's, I think, somewhere where then I can't be a part of this.
You're right. I like how you said that. I agree, fam. It's funny because when you say Muslim, my stepdad was a Nation of Islam Muslim, which the practices are different and the belief system is I guess they overlap, but they're different. But yeah, like you're saying about saying words instead of like knowing it, I think one of the weird things is like symbols. We get stuck in symbols. We get stuck doing the thing we're supposed to do, like instead of like you have to engage with the now and with the thing.
Yeah. You have to engage, I think. That's the thing.
Say it again?
You have to engage.
You have to engage. Yeah.
I think that's something that people don't want to do. They don't want to engage with themselves, which is why, a lot of the religion is around self-awareness. Like, a lot of people don't want to have that. That's not a choice that they did. And they know it. Like, it's not like they don't know. They know that they don't want to. Like,
that's crazy.
It, right?
That's really nutty, yo. My wife has another question. She says,
Okay.
she says maybe sometimes we think the rain is what we need, but it's actually the universe telling us to migrate to more rainy climates or to adapt their crops lifestyle to drier weather. Hmm.
It could all be a sign. Um, as human beings, one thing that we have always been doing is adapting. Um, in the past, adapting has looked like hunting versus gathering, building shelter, having better energy, sources, whatever that looks like. And I think maybe now we're in a sense of a different type of adapting, right? And I don't know if anyone really knows what that is, but there is a lot of rainforest, and so there has to be some sort of adapting.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. Where are we gonna run to? There's nowhere to run to, right? So it's not even like I'm gonna go to some part of the world and go hide out and deal with any of this other stuff that's going on. That doesn't even exist.
Lot changing. Yeah, are you thinking like, you're talking about climate change? You thinking like AI? I'm trying to think where you were
I'm
going
just
there.
talking about everything.
Talking about the
It's
whole thing.
crazy everywhere, huh?
It's crazy.
It's crazy everything. Um, yeah, there's so many. Every country has something going on. There's financial, there's everything, shift, climate, AI, people shift. There's I don't. I try not to bloom myself out with like the news as much, but I do tend to follow it
Smart.
a little bit. Yeah, but and it's a lot of stuff going on worldwide.
All over. All
Yeah,
over.
so
So that's interesting because, so like, my thing with the media, as I critique the media hard, at the same time I recognize the challenge. It's a challenge to focus attention somewhere. You're actually these people are in a very powerful position, and there's so many things going on, and to
mhm.
focus attention in a certain place for a certain moment, and to tell the story in this limited medium that we have called words. um, I think it's a challenge if you're trying, and I don't think they're trying. And so, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's media, right? Like we call it media now, and it used to be like journalism, and I think that's
It's
the
like
difference.
content.
Yeah, like now it's like, well, what's gonna get the most downloads, the most people watching? Before we had nothing to do with that. It was just like this is what we should be presenting. In many parts of the world, if you're speaking truth in any way, form, right, like that's a real crime. Like you're being targeted. Um, and in America, where you can still speak truth, maybe somewhat, I don't know. We're not like, who are our journalists? Who are the people who are like, oh no, that person is gonna speak what they need to speak? Who's not beholden into a network, right? Like that's not what's pulling their strings. Because it's not the
Yes,
person speaking; it's the whole production behind it.
absolutely. I mean, that's my thinking behind it. That's what motivated me to leave. That's what motivated me to
Yeah.
start talking and doing some of the content that I make, and writing, and trying to, like, because what you're saying is absolutely true. What an insane privilege to be. Sometimes I wake up and my knee hurts or something from football, and I might
Real.
forget. But like when I'm really grounded and centered and aware and present, I realize what an insane privilege to be alive at this moment, to be able to call up my friend Nussy and just like, hey, want to do a thing on a video and like share these ideas, and have it
Mm.
captured, and to be able to share it to potentially thousands of people, and and to talk about truth, and to talk about what is, and to try to engage and show love. It's just an opportunity to like do it, to engage. I get excited by that.
No, for sure. I'm glad we had this opportunity to have this conversation. There's not really many places where you can have these types of conversations. So,
And let it get weird. Get a little
yeah, well,
weird.
and mine was weird.
No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't weird. See,
Yeah.
sometimes people think it gets weird. I know, like, when I was younger, I was scared of like deeper conversations, questions of the very thing we're talking about going inward and knowing yourself.
Mhm.
That felt like not masculine, and it felt like, you know what I mean. Like, I had all these bad ideas in my head.
Mm. Yeah. No, and I'm a woman, right? So I ask that. But even so, like vulnerability is not a easy place. And I've definitely struggled with that too in the past. And so it's not something we learned. It's not like our parents were doing it, or anything that was valued when we were younger. And so I think
Exactly.
we're in this weird space where people are starting to become more self-aware if they choose it.
If they
But
choose it.
then, and then it's a still continuous learning process. Because then what? Now you know this about yourself, and
Exactly.
yeah.
Did I tell you my theory though? My theory is that like we're all some massive like Megazord kind of thing, and as each of us finds our like goes on this journey together and helps each other and kind of we learn from each other, that we make some sort of Power Ranger thing, and then we go off into a new level.
Did you watch the Power Rangers movie?
I've been watching it recently. That's why this happened. It's popped up in my head.
Yeah, I saw it.
Wait, they got a new one?
Well, the one with like the original cast.
Oh, I didn't.
Ish.
Wait, what year did that come out?
No, I think it just came out. Or something. Maybe I'm making it up.
I
Maybe
got it. I used to be a Power Rangers junkie, son, so that's why I'm on you right now. So no.
Let me see. Power Rangers movie.
Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles.
Was it? No, that's it.
Can we, actually, can I tell you the story about perspective real quick? That on this like with my wife. So I love the Ninja Turtles. I love the Ninja Turtles. I grew up this big Ninja Turtle. I thought I was a Ninja Turtle growing up, and the one I always and I always wanted to be Donatello, and everybody was cool. Everybody wanted Leonardo or Raphael and Mikey or whatever. Like I got to be Donatello. What, you guys was Michelangelo?
Mm-hmm.
Party guy, huh? I get it. I see it. But Sheba told me that when she was a kid, she wanted to do Ninja Turtles, and someone told her, "No, you can't. You're a girl." And this story is just one of like many stories that really helped me understand the gravity of like these little moments and perspective in childhood. Because if I was to like the way I was about Donatello, if people didn't validate me on that, like I would be really different, I'd be a different person, I feel like. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like we're all one thing and yet we are being interpreted through superficial shit like our bodies, and then it produces all these perspectives like a prism in a glass. That's my theory. That's my high theory, okay? I just wanted to share that with you.
What's that? No, I mean, that's a horror story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think something that comes up for me, or I just say that, I think there's like, what I heard, I don't know if this is your intention or what your the purpose of your story with this, but I'm also hearing from it is at some point you lost like I think first of all girls should have ninja whatever they want to have.
Right.
But on top of that also it's like you could like certain things and then not mean anything else about you, right? Like, and so I think like my best friend, she was like a whole tomboy growing up. And we don't use that word tomboy anymore, but that's really just what she was, right? She
tomboy,
liked,
okay.
Right? I mean, it had nothing to do with her like sexuality or her gender or anything like that, right? It was just like she liked sports. She liked certain things that maybe typically other girls were not into, right?
But that's because those are socially reasons, like just like the blue thing and the truck and all that. Okay.
Also, like maybe they just also don't like it, right? Like I know I have a lot of rights to do certain things, but I don't want to either. Like so and so I saw this weird I get it.
Wait, you saw this weird what?
All these like weird terms and labeling that and I think so even what you're saying, like you just get to hear different stories and like learn from understand perspectives. But I think everybody has something going on, or some story that learn from. So
Yes, yes. And that's what's going on. And that's what informs us and gives us anxieties and gives us,
and I was like, no, yeah, whatever.
yeah, man. Yeah. But that's life. And that's what it is, And if you can accept it, if you can, is accept the word? If you can come to peace with your weird shit,
Yes, being at peace with weirdness.
That's key, yo. That's key. Nussy, I've had you for 58 minutes, yo. I really appreciate this conversation. Thank you for being here. Do you have anything else you want to just drop before I let you go?
No, nothing profound or anything like that.
Okay.
Just, keep having these conversations and whatever comes to your mind, these are great.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Nussy. I appreciate it, yo. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.
Yes, bye.
All right, bye. Oh my gosh. What's up, y'all? Alright, so that was my friend Nussy. She's fantastic. That was great. That felt good. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Got y'all solo. It's already been an hour. You know what? I'm just gonna wrap this up. I might come on another time this week, so look out for that. That's a potential thing. But for sure, my wife will be in on Friday, and she's taking a break on Shiva Sunday for a little bit. She might be back on Sunday as well, but I think she's amped to do another Black Bunny Hall on Friday, so look out for that. And we've got some stuff coming, y'all. We're bringing back SMC. It's gonna have a whole new look and a refurbished kind of mood and energy, and we're gonna get some creative stuff going. It's gonna be fun. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and be well, everyone. Honesty and empathy. It's all one thing.
Realize that life is this incredible story, a journey that's unfolding for us, from us. The life experience isn't just out there, it's also inside of us. It's our perception, our beliefs, our language, our traumas, our prior assumptions. Sometimes you need the benefit of time and some distance. You can look back and see, everything happened just as it needed to. For this moment. Listen, I've been grown, my step pops move just like the wind blows. I chin stroke and reminisce on days when life was simple. Me, always had a pen stroke, fresh like Mentos. At 9 I wrote complex lines and colored pencils. By 16 the game was mental. The stuff I've been through, I had to learn to break shit down and reassemble. The cops judge me by my skin tone. Me and my kinfolk, we been broke. These checks too slow, file the rent broke. Look, sidewalk chalk, I trace it in black. Shit strange how the brain can relapse to anger in fact. But hey, everybody chasing a stack, sitting at the table telling fables with a plate full of scraps. You had the mic, now we taking it back. Mirror to the face, facing it flat. Can you face it or not? They stole your whole shit straight from the apps. Don't at me, I'm just stating the facts. And all these words I spit, I'm a wordsmith. Perfect verses hurt way worse than curse words did. Get the hearses, how they gon' hang truth from purse strings? The nerve of these clowns and cursed earthlings. Check the grace they got for racists and bots. Content clowns chasing the guap. They daily research on the wire. Be copy and pasted a lot. Wait, my basic cable is basically ops. Breaking news. I try to count my blessings, though these people are vexing. Notice pain is a testing. Choose to press in, I'm etched in. Stuff of exploded stars caressing. Who got bars like Billy B. Blessing? Answer the question. But let me say less, I don't flaunt predator apex. I make moves, y'all stunt for placements. Life stage is amazing by God's graces. Not a thug, but definitely goon adjacent. I foul flagrant, chef it up with no apron. But y'all ego talk too much and not patient. Look, not for Nathan, stay true and stop faking. That's why the broads turned off and not naked. I'm complex, never complacent. My steps constant, accomplishments and roads taken. So I'ma live this one life my way. Big moves, my head might skyscrape. Migraine, I stack bread like sideways. They pay a lot to talk in sly ways. Now I keep the fam fed off rhyme play. Who the type to set it off in 9 ways? Billy, the most creative MC in this time space. Look, who the type to set it off in 9 ways? Billy, the most creative MC in this time space. Who the type to set it off in 9 ways? Billy, the most creative MC in this time space.